Hello card gamers, my name is RadiantXela and I'm here with another Dragon Ball Super trading card game deck profile. Today I'll be showing you a deck that I played at locals yesterday and that I won the locals with. The deck is super consistent, it does its tactic almost every time you play it, and people say it might be the next Mega Frieza. This is Blue Goku. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at what my Blue Goku deck has in store for you. So the leader is of course the new Blue Goku from Cross Worlds. What it does is that you permanently can only hold 6 energy. And during your main step, you can discard a card if you have no energy to take 2 of your life into energy. So he basically makes self-awakening easier, and he starts off at 2 energy, which is just great, because you can play so many cards. When he awakens, he draws 2 cards, which is still 9 out of 10 times the better awaken. And he gets the effect to draw cards when he attacks, and he gets back 3 energy every end step. That's insane. Every time you turn in, you get back 3 energy, meaning you can play so many control cards even if you're tapped out. And that makes this deck really aggressive to play. Now I have parted this deck profile into packages to make it more reviewable. So these are the play during your own turn cards. I have 4 energy boosted Margin Blue. It draws a card when you play it. It's just insane when you start with 2 energy and you can pop like 2 boos and then just draw into a whole new sustainable hand. It's great. Then I have the super combo, which is not defensive in this deck. It is definitely offensive because it draws cards only when you use it offensive. The thing is, you can also use it defensively as a J-Co, but I rarely ever have done this. I know it's a possibility, but it just hasn't come up because I would rather just draw into something more that could help me outcombo my opponent in the long run. 4 Unyielding Spirit Trunks. This one I think had seen a lot of retreat. It hasn't really been played since Trunks was a big part of the meta. What it does is when you combo with it, you get back an energy. And the great thing here is that this means you can play even more. When you start at 2 energy, this gives you back everything you need to keep evolving, keep playing out your opponent, and just generally gives a good field state when you play this. which is what we're going for. This is also why Setuniman has been added to the play during your turn package, because it gives you back those energy, same as Trunks does. Then you get to build more board state, and that's exactly what you want to do with this deck. You want to keep up the board state and just look your opponent in the eye and say, yeah, you can hit me for a few, but I can hit you for a lot more next turn unless you do something about this board state. And the thing is, this deck builds board state, as you will see, without much trouble. Alright, so we have the 4 obligatory Time Patrol Trunks. This is a great draw power card. You overrun cast it for free, then look at top 2. Choose one to get to hand and one to top or bottom. I usually just send whatever it is to the bottom unless it's a piece I'm needing for the finishing combo. So yeah, this is probably one of the best cards in the game right now because of its huge draw potential in every deck. And finally, for the play during your turn, Trunks Power Over Seeing Time. Now, first of all, this is an overrun 4 for 2, so you still have to pay 2 when you play this. But it does have double strike, 20,000 power, and when you play it, you get back one of your cards from the warp, and that's that's just great. It gives you back your Unyielding Spirit Trunks. It gives you back your big finishers. It gives you back, most importantly, I think, the super combos to draw more cards. That is my most, I think, standard play with it is to bring back the super combos, I would say. Okay, so that's my play during your turn. This is my play during your opponent's turn. Because, as previously mentioned, the leader gives you back 3 energy. So we have, of course, 4 Raging Spirits on Gohan. Combo with it also triggers, it plays itself. Really no reason not to play this in a deck that just gets its energy back. It's so insane how good this card is with this deck. And I think it will just keep getting better, because then it becomes a board state card, and we all know board state is the way to go. The 4 obligatory waste coercion, these are, I think, self-explanatory, as these were one of the first cards printed and still one of the strongest. Counter attack, negate the attack, get back an energy, so it really costs 0 in this deck. That's since you're already getting back the energy from before. I'm running 3 Ultimate Judgment Jaco because it's good with the blue super combo. If I have to use the super combo defensively, I want to do so with Jaco because then I can first bounce off any one of their combo cards and then play the other super combo, bounce that card up, and then I might get to draw a card. If I'm lucky, if there's been only 2 combo cards on that attack. So yeah, that's why Jaco. Also, this guy mostly sees energy, must admit that. Right, final play during your opponent's turn is the crazy card that you can main in this deck. It's the Mafuba. Because you get back those free energy every end, you might as well include this free of this card. It's a counterplay and it places itself over the opponent's card once you counter it. So it removes so many threats, like the Kale critical draw into, because this is the one counter in the game that removes the auto effects of the cards. Why? Because those cards are no longer on the field. When you counterplay with this, or counter battle card attack with this, it loses its effect because it will no longer count as being on the field because it's been Mafuba and it becomes Mafuba instead. So attack with my Trunks power wasting time? No, it's now Mafuba. So this is probably one of my favorite control cards in the game, and I really like how there's now a deck capable of main decking it and not just having it in the sideboard for aggro solutions. So yeah, I think that's great. Now for the finishers. And this is probably one of the most powerful cards in the game. It's your boy, Goku. Right, so of course the kind sayings on Goku in itself is not the most powerful card in the game. But it is a 1-drop, meaning you can potentially play 2 during your first turn. And it lets you look at top 7 for other blue Gokus. Spoiler alert, we have a few. So I've chosen to run this evolution line of Goku from the starter deck. It is the Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. It evolves for 4, which is a tad bit expensive, but it does have double strike, and when you evolve into it, it also gets dual attack. So what you want to do is you want to strike once for double, then ready, and then proceed to the EX evolving instead. So you've gotten 1 strike down for double, and then you get into the EX evolving. And that's, I think that applies some pressure, because your opponent, when they see this deck, they're going to know what your big finisher is. And they're going to know it's coming, and they're going to want to stop you. So yeah, that's why I like this guy. Then I'm also running the 4 Rapid Onslaught Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku. This card is just insane. It's every level of insane in this deck. So basically, during your turn 1 you play a kind insane, then you fish out this guy. Then during your turn 2 you evolve into it because you've reached the 3. And if your opponent did even 1 damage during the last turn, then this guy's auto will just awaken you, and then you'll get to draw so many more cards. You'll get into the red energy untapping. This happens almost every game, and it just makes this card insane. It has 20,000 power double strike, and you give it critical and by self-awakening. There's no downside, and everyone who plays Blue Goku should have 4 of these. No, just no. There are no other options. I tried. It can't be replaced. Now the big finisher is of course the Ultra Instinct Son Goku. This is probably in my top 5 most powerful cards in the game at this point. So why is that? It has EX Evolve for 2, meaning that this is a potential turn 3 drop for this deck. Ouch. You place 1 card from your hand in the drop area to play it, and then it evolves from a Blue Son Goku that costs 5 or more, meaning Rapid Onslaught or the Super Saiyan 3. Now it has triple strike, and permanent, your opponent can't combo against this card's attack. And auto, when you play this, send all of your opponent's cards to their hands, so it doesn't choose, so it's one of those cards that gets around blockers, and you can't combo against it. That's pretty powerful there already. So this basically happened during the tournament yesterday. I was playing against a Cell player, and he is a good player, but he had definitely forgotten about what Ultra Instinct does. And he didn't play counters, so he was at 3 health. I played this, and couldn't do anything because he didn't play counters in his Cell deck. Yeah, that's a way to win. Basically, if you don't have a counter, then you're dead when this guy shows up, because it smashes for free, and it's such a huge advantage to build into, to return all of your opponent's cards to their hand. It negates their board state and gives it back to you. And the thing is, most build-up decks these days won't be able to deal with this, because they'll have lost their cards. They have spent time setting them up. Cell and Buhan will both lose their evolutions, and this is why I think this build is one of the most potent once the Mega Freezer errata kicks in. Currently playing for the errata myself, and this is why I'm primarily showing deck profiles of decks that work after. Now then, let me know what you think, people. Strong matchup for this deck, I believe, would be Cell, the Marching Blues. I'm a bit on edge with androids. My test so far hasn't been really conclusive. That's about a 50-50. What you want to do against androids is, of course, make sure not to get hit by the criticals. But if they can reach 20,000 early, yeah, then you're not going to be able to block all of it with this deck. And that means it just takes one Furthering Destruction Champa combo, and you will be a lot of cards out, and that's not very good. Another deck that I think is really strong against this is Red GT Pan. My tests show that this deck really has trouble handling those early aggro power pulls that Pan can do. So yeah, if your meta becomes dominated by this kind of deck, then perhaps look into some of those. And perhaps those players will learn how to play against them, and they can inform me, so I can keep winning with this deck. That would be very nice. So, anywho, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time.